How are you today, Mr. Filler? How are you, sir?
I'm fine.
Good, good, good.
Thank you.
And let's see. I'm going to make an introductory announcement at the beginning of the recording. And today's date is November the 8th, okay, 2012, and we're at the Veterans Affairs Medical Center in West Palm Beach. And the name of the person being interviewed is, what is your name, sir?
Charles Filler.
Charles Filler. Okay, and what is your birthday?
First name?
Your birthday. When were you born?
26 December 1932.
Okay. All right, and let's see, what is your current address? Are you living here in the hospital now?
Yes.
You're a resident. So you're a resident here at 7305 North Military Trail in West Palm Beach at the Veterans Affairs Medical Center, period. Okay, and the names of the people attending the interview are myself, Carlton Cartwright, and I'm the Executive Director for the Children's Coalition Incorporated, and a student is with me that's been helping us immensely help out the paperwork. And what is your name, sir?
My name is Nathan Mundy.
Okay. All right. And let's see. Okay. All right. So, oh, great. And our next question is, what branch of the service were you in, Mr. Filler?
I was in the Corps of Engineers.
Army?
Army.
Okay. You can move up a little bit, sir. Actually, you can move in here a little bit. And just need, there you go. There you go. Good, good. Spread that out, make it a little wider. Good. And what's your name? Oh. You were in the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers?
Right.
Okay, and where did you serve?
Mainly in Vietnam, of course,
Uh-huh.
but in Thailand,
Mm-hmm.
Vietnam, and some stateside duty.
Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna try to help you jog your memory a little bit. Were you drafted or did you enlist?
No, I entered through the ROTC program.
Okay, through school.
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. Okay. So you joined ROTC in high school?
No, I joined in college.
Oh, in college.
Yes.
Okay, and you went in as an officer?
Yes, that's right.
Oh, okay. All right. Fine. Good for you. Where were you living at the time when you were in college? Where were you living?
I went to the Colorado School of Mines
Uh-huh.
in Golden, Colorado.
Where were you born?
Miami, Florida.
Okay. All right. And you wound up going to college in Colorado, huh?
Yes, that's right.
All right. And why did you choose to go into ROTC? In the Army ROTC?
Because it was offered at the school that I went to college at,
Okay.
and it was required.
It was required?
Right.
Okay. But why did you choose that branch of service? I mean, you went in the Army, but there were several other services, as you know.
Yes.
Air Force, Navy, Marines.
Yes.
Why didn't you choose a different one?
Because they didn't offer any other than.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, do you recall your first days on active duty? You know, when you finally left the ROTC program and you actually went into the Army?
Yes, I do.
And what was that like?
It was like a whole new horizon to me. I never realized that I'd stay in the Army. But as I grew into it, it grew on me.
Okay.
I found out that the Army Corps of Engineers was going. It was a going concern, and I wanted to be a part of it.
How old were you?
I was 19 years old.
Okay. You say you were born in 1932, right?
Yes.
Let's see, 32 and 19 is how much? Quick.
It'll be
41?
80.
32, 51.
Sorry. Oh,
32 and 19
it's
is
41.
51.
51.
51, right?
51.
Right. So you went into service, the year you went into service was 1951.
Yeah, that's right.
51 or 52, exact, right?
Right.
Okay, so, Cold War, peacetime, sort of. So what did it feel like? You know, what was basic training like?
Of course, I went through basic training, officer basic training.
Right, oh, I see.
Yeah, and that occurred at Fort Belvoir.
Excuse me?
That occurred for me at Fort Belvoir.
What state was that in? Was that Texas?
That's Virginia.
Oh, in Virginia.
Yes.
Okay.
The fact that at Fort Belvoir, they still have many of the surveys that were run by George Washington.
Okay.
You know, he was a surveyor,
Oh, okay.
and so a lot of his surveys were done at Fort Belvoir.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Good, good. How long were you in officers training school? OTS.
Yeah, I stayed 4 years, I guess you could say.
You went on active duty for 4 years?
Well, when I went on active duty, I just stayed on active duty.
Okay. Okay, so where did you go after basic training?
Well, I decided I wanted to be in the Corps of Engineers, and so they sent me to Germany. And that was one of my first assignments. I was first stationed at Fort Stewart, Georgia. That was the first duty assignment. And then I requested to go to Germany to be assigned to the Corps of Engineers in Heidelberg, Germany.
Okay. And how long were you in Germany?
4 years.
Oh, you were there for, gee whiz.
Yeah.
Your entire term of duty, tour of duty.
Well, by that time I was going to stay in, and so when you say they were going to grab you, well, I was already grabbed.
Okay. What was the food like?
Well, if you like pizza, you sure like. You like Germany.
Yeah, this is true. They had a lot of good pizza in Germany. I was stationed here myself for 3 years in Wiesbaden. Yeah, where were you in Germany? Where?
Heidelberg.
Heidelberg. Okay, I was in Wiesbaden.
Okay. Vast difference.
I guess so. I think I went to Heidelberg and I was there for all of 4 hours.
Yeah.
So I didn't know too much about it. So what did you do? What were some of the things that you did while you lived there?
I was assigned to an engineer battalion, topographic.
Mm-hmm.
They only had one engineer, topographic Army engineer in the Corps of Engineers. They only had that one battalion that was topographic, and it was assigned in Germany because of very specialized outfits. Because basically they trained a lot of their standing units in the topographic corps in Germany because it's getting double training that way. But as the Army grew older and into its as it grew older to I guess you could say, as it just grew older, it just worked its way out of a job because it became quite obvious that it was going to be a difficult time to train an engineer battalion to do all the work that it was for the Army within the United States and the Army. So what they did was started putting out the work to civilian
Okay.
work and turned a lot of the work over to civilian type work, some of it in the United States and some of it overseas.
Okay, so they were farming it out.
Yes.
Okay, all right. And I'm just trying to figure out why were they farming it out from the military to the civilian population?
Well, you don't want to put your eggs in one basket.
Oh, okay. All right, that makes sense.
You try to put it where you think that you might happen to get a fire.
Okay.
If our problem had been in Alaska, I'm sure it had shipped a good portion of it to Alaska and work up there.
Okay.
So that, for specialized services, they would go to put their unit within that service.
What was your rank when you separated?
I was a lieutenant colonel.
Oh, okay, when you finally, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you started out as a first lieutenant, I guess.
Well, a second lieutenant.
Second lieutenant, yep, I missed one. And you got all the way up to lieutenant colonel. Congratulations, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right,
It was a very satisfying life.
was it?
Yes.
Do you remember any of your instructors?
Gosh, I don't remember.
No? Okay, that's okay. Don't worry about it. All right. This was during peacetime, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so you were never a prisoner of war or anything?
No.
Good for you. Okay, so while you were in Germany, did you travel around Europe?
Because that's where they had a unit.
But did you travel around Europe? Did you get to go other places besides Germany?
Yes, I did.
Okay, can you remember where you went?
Oh, yeah, there was Belgium, because at the time I first came back into the Army, we were having problems with Belgian Congo. And we did a lot of work with Belgian Congo
Oh, really?
during that time. And then, as you have noticed in notices in the newspaper, etc., you realize that the requirement for having these large battalions of soldiers and even enlisted personnel, they were not needed as much as they were as the Army grew older. Because as it grew older,
All right.
the ability to pick up the hearing and ideas sometimes became, you can attach it to a unit within the United States much faster than you could.
Yeah, let me have that.
Yeah.
That's okay. No, we're all right. Don't worry about it.
And one thing that I learned was one of my assignments to Belvoir, I noticed that they were making specialized maps. They could do it much faster by taking the map and putting they superimpose a map unit over a map size unit, and that would be, I can't recall right offhand what they were called, but they could produce a pretty good sized map for special use and special needs. And with that, being able to not having to stockpiles 10 million of this type of it to be ready to go for us during times of relative quietness within the military, it became more fruitful to produce something that was going to be able to be reproduced very quickly and transported to where it had to go.
Okay. You served for 23 years?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Besides being, did you have any other job, or were you an engineer all of those years?
Yes, I was assigned to engineering units.
Okay. So, what other places, you said you went, did you travel to the Belgian Congo?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Did you stay in Germany for 23 years?
No.
Where else did you travel?
Well, they sent me to get my graduate degree at Purdue University.
Where?
Purdue.
Purdue, okay.
I earned a master's degree in engineering
Okay.
from Purdue. No, the Army had other things up its sleeve whenever they needed you. And one of the things that I needed was when I came back from Korea, I was towards the end of a career, but I had a lot of time left, which was about 3 or 4 years. And those periods could be used as the commanding general wanted. It was his army, and he had to run it. Well, that was happening as the Corps got itself in the whole army got itself in a whack of trouble, and but then we had an embargo of fuel in 1973,
Uh-huh.
and we had to ration water.
And you were in Korea? Or here in the United States?
In the United States.
Uh-huh.
But the General Depew, he needed
What was his name?
Depew.
Depew, okay.
And we had to start accounting for all the fuel we used and stored and
Okay.
and that was lots of fun because we didn't know where all the fuel in the army lied, and it took quite a while for us to be able to get the fuel and allocate it out.
Right.
that was a fun game. It wasn't a Corps of Engineer requirement. It was a requirement for the command. And whoever could do the job was the one that got the job. And I happened to have been in the line of fire at the time the bullet hit. Although I enjoyed the extra job. It was,
So did you?
It kept me busy.
Mhm. Did you get hit?
No,
No. Okay.
no, I wasn't.
You mean figuratively?
Yes, sir.
I understand. Okay. So you went to Germany and you went to Korea. Where else did you go?
I went to Vietnam.
Okay.
That's about it.
Oh, how long were you in Vietnam?
I went there 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
I was an engineer battalion advisor
Right.
to the Vietnamese Army.
Okay.
And I was in graduate school at the time that I got a set of orders that sent me to Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
And heavens, we were all on, those of us that were in graduate school, which wasn't too many of us, but there was 50 or something like that, or not even at the same time. But I got orders to go from Vietnam to Vietnam, and then I got a set of orders sent me to back to the United States,
Let me ask you a question.
and I spent 1 year in Vietnam.
Were there any casualties in your unit?
No, I was very fortunate. I lived with that engine. There was a brigade of engineers. There were 3 battalions, Vietnamese battalions, and I happened to be assigned to one of them by the Department of the Army. And we worked with those engineers by ourselves. We just lived with them night and day and by ourselves. Mm-hmm. And it was a very good assignment. Because you get in there and get done what had to be done and get back out again.
Right.
So you didn't tie things up. It was a very good assignment.
Did you see any combat?
Only within the battalion that we kept behind the lines.
Okay.
Primarily because we didn't want to get our engineers shot up. But you just stick them out there for a little while, but you didn't stick them out there too frequently because you needed those guys.
Right.
And you don't take and make.
Did you see a lot of casualties besides your unit?
No, I didn't see that.
Okay. All right.
We were considered up river, up in Mekong Delta, on up, where we spent a lot of our time.
Were you awarded any medals or citations?
Yes, I was. I wore the Bronze Star.
Hold on 1 second, please. Okay, I'm sorry. What'd you say? You got the Bronze Star and then what?
There were several others that I earned and where I don't remember.
Okay, that's fine.
You can probably get them out of my records.
I understand. Were you involved in any battle planning?
No.
Okay. So did you sustain any injuries at any time?
No, we if we got into a hot spot, we tried to get out. But they didn't want their engineers all shot up.
Injured, huh?
Yeah. If you needed one of us, the big boys, why, you'd send somebody in there and get them in and get them out and secure the area and go on and do something else.
Okay. Okay. So were you married while you were in the service?
Yes.
But early on, how did you stay in touch with your family?
Well,
Did you write letters or
Yeah.
call on the phone or?
write letters and sometimes on the phone. But
So tell me again, we talked about Germany, you said there was a lot of pizza, but overall in Korea and Vietnam and I'm sure you went on leave a lot, you know, how was the food overall?
oh, we had a good life. I mean, pizza was.
A lot of good German food, huh?
Yes, a lot of German good life. They were made for fighting. It was just their nature,
Who is that?
the Germans.
Really?
Yeah.
What about the Koreans?
I didn't work with the Korean much.
Okay.
I spent one of my last assignments with the Koreans. They had such a small territory to work on. It's pretty hard to get in there and get out without getting.
Okay. Okay. When did you get married?
My last year in college.
Early, huh? So what was that? What year was that? Was that in 1940 or 1938?
I was married in '56.
Oh, okay. Okay. Let's see, 30, 56. Oh, yeah. What am I thinking? We was a little boy then. I understand. Yeah, 1956. Okay, gotcha. Did you have a lot? Did you have all the supplies that you needed throughout your service career?
Yes, we were pretty well supplied.
Good. Did you feel a lot of pressure or stress?
No, it was very. We weren't put under pressure at all. They left us alone and told us to do our job, and we did it.
All right. What about the entertainment? Oh, and during that time period, you were in the service, what, from 51 until, let's see, about 1974, is that when you got out?
Yeah, 76.
72?
76.
76. Yeah, was there a lot of entertainment, whether, throughout the service period? USO shows, things of that nature?
There wasn't that much. There were the big Bob, whatever, gosh, I can't remember his name now.
Bob Hope?
Bob Hope.
There you go.
Yeah.
I was there. No, I wasn't.
The Bob Hope shows and things were on, and they made a big splash.
Okay.
for everything.
So when you got R&R, when you went on leave, when you got 30 days leave a year, where are some of the places that you went, or did you just go back home to Florida?
No, when I went on R&R from Vietnam for the first, I went to Bangkok, which is just opening up as a and it was just barely opening up. It was just raw. The Thais were quite gracious, though.
Okay.
They were very well took care of us, and I actually brought back some nice opals and nice stones
Uh-huh.
from over there. They're traded on the international market.
You okay?
My background is in geology. That's where the Colorado mines comes from. Geologists and playing up the use of youth, gymnology.
What is that?
Playing up the use of gym for gifts and things.
Gems?
Yeah, they had a very excellent,
Selection of...
they had a very good trade work that used to got used. I'm sure that Thailand was one of the ones that was chosen to receive gifts of gymnology.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Here we go. Okay. So what did you think of your fellow soldiers and officers? What did you think of them? How did you get along with them?
I got along very well with them. I had no problem. Treat them with respect, and you will get respect.
Did you keep a diary?
No.
So what was it like? Where did you say you were? You were in Korea when you separated. Where were you when you separated from the service?
Well, I was at Belvoir.
Back in Colorado.
No, Belvoir. I was at the Continental Army Command.
You were where now? What you know? What were you in Colorado?
No, when I separated from the Army
Uh huh.
after 26 years, in the Army, I was at Fort Monroe, Virginia.
Oh, in Virginia. Okay.
Yeah. And that's where I held all that fuel, 131 million gallons, which I tried to herd around the United States. It was a rather heady assignment.
Uh huh.
When somebody wanted to do something, you had to be very careful how you address it, because you're sitting at the head of a huge pipeline, of which there's only one. And then there's another one over here and another one. Because we didn't have the only pipeline.
Right.
We had the training and doctrine in command, for which we were responsible for the training end of it. And you have to be careful what you just said, because you gotta realize you got 4-star general there, and when he says you go, you wait. You wait until he has given you the okay. Otherwise, you're putting him in the soup.
Okay. Okay, what did you do when you immediately separated? Where did you go when you left Virginia?
I went home,
Where?
Florida.
Okay, and what did you do?
Not too much. I retired for about 6 months, I guess. And then I got small jobs, and I finally helped the state of Florida.
You did what?
I helped the state of Florida
Uh-huh.
become, they made their own,
Made their own what?
made their own permits. We didn't have any water permits for Florida. And
Okay.
as a result, we had to get our own. And of course, there was lots of opposition to that, because you got a lot of young people who you're not going to show me what to do. I'll tell you what to do.
Okay.
And we went into a lot of flack there. One of my jobs to do was to make sure that they were brought under the umbrella of accepting the policy of the separate water management districts all over the United States. And I worked with them for 7 years, and I think I did a good job. At least I thought I did.
Okay. Right. How did so that was so you were what, 44 when you got out of the service?
Right,
Okay, you were 44. So how long? What did you went to work for the state of Florida?
right.
All right. I just want to make sure I had that straight. And how long did you work for them?
7 years.
7 years.
Yeah.
Okay. And what did you do after that?
Well, what I did was I quit with the water management district and went to work for myself,
Oh, doing what?
making up permits for the water management district.
Okay. Doing what for the permits?
I made out the permit
Made them out. Okay.
because nobody was paying any attention to them. And I figured I could make out the permits and advocate helping them
Well, answer me a question. We got a few more questions for you.
okay.
How did the military influence your life overall?
Oh my. Sense of integrity and help my family to grow up and appreciate what sense of integrity and how to see things in a different light.
Okay.
In other words, it all doesn't belong in one guy's head. You've got to work together to get what you want done. And if you don't do that, you're going down a tube.
Okay. Did you use the GI Bill at all for anything?
No.
No? Okay.
After all, they sent me to graduate school.
Right.
Yeah,
So you used it for school?
yeah, but the military sent me to get my schooling.
Right. Okay, I got you. I believe it's the same thing. Do you belong to any veterans organizations?
Yes. I do belong to. I can't remember the name.
Okay. Is it the VFW, Veterans of Foreign Wars, or?
Yes, I belong to them.
Okay.
There's a couple more that I belong to, but
Okay. DAV, Disabled Vets,
Yes,
Vietnam Vets,
there's a Veterans of Foreign Wars.
Veterans of, yeah.
Veterans of Foreign Wars. I can't remember.
Is there anything else that you'd like to share with us that we didn't cover in the interview?
No, I will say that I enjoyed the Army and it gave me a good life.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, sir, Mr. Phillips.
Appreciate it.
Okay.